With that, let's move on and talk about how all of these global cues that we just went through really impact our own markets and everything that you should watch from a domestic standpoint as well as we get into this trading week. We have Ekta, Surbhi and Mangalam all joining us now with the trade setup today. Guys, a very good morning to all of you. Ekta, let me come to you first. I was, just going through the global setup. Looks like a very positive handover, and maybe we're getting into that festive spirit now.
Morning, Pavitra. Well, it definitely seems like that, and we saw the signs already in yesterday on Friday's trading session as well as last week, where the markets did snap that two-week losing streak. The markets ended at a one-week high on Friday, and in fact, the Nifty has now rallied around 2% from those 26th October lows. In terms of flows, FII net sold a small amount, so around 12.43 crores. DII's net bought around 402 crores. So net institutions were buyers. Now, in terms of cues, the US markets did close in the green on Friday, so the Dow gained over 200 odd points. We had the US non-farm payrolls data, which is indicative of the fact that maybe the Fed could now hold on to rates, and there is some amount of softening which is taking place in terms of data points. Oil has posted a weekly loss as the geopolitical risk premium seem to have ebbed, so it's around $85 per barrel. Asia and the green and the gift Nifty indicating a good start for us as well. Now watch for the broader market outperformance, because last week we had the mid caps gaining around 0.7%. Small cap index also gained. And in terms of result reactions, we have a whole host of numbers this week. But for today, we will be reacting to State Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, Indigo, Metropolis, just to name a few. It's going to be very active in terms of earnings. And in terms of results today, we have the likes of Divi's Labs, HPCL, Bharat Forge to watch out for. During the week, Fed Chair speech will be something that we will be looking at. Also, a couple of data points from the US, as well as big ticket earnings back home.
All right, that is a lot of cues for us to track this week. Ekta, thanks a lot for laying them all out. Let's also talk about the earnings which came through and some of the important news flow that we should track. Surbhi is here with that entire list of stocks. Surbhi, of course, SBI is going to be a big one today.
That's right. SBI, the numbers beats the poll and the stress in the balance sheet reduces. The net interest income came in at 39,500, PAT at 14,330 versus a poll of 14,033 crores. Gross NPA at 2.55% versus 2.7% sequentially. Bank of Baroda, the NIMs were weak and the guidance on the NIMs has been cut. NIMs is at 5-quarter low. The guidance has been cut from 3.3% to 3.15%. But the business momentum was strong. Deposits up 15%, advances up 17.3%. Indigo, strong set of numbers, revenue up 20% and EBITDA margins at 16.4% versus 1.8%. Vedanta, again, a good set of numbers, revenue up 6.4%, margins at 20.49% versus 21%. JSW Infra, the revenues were up 28%, EBITDA was up 33% and margins at 53.5%. Crompton, the revenues were up 5%, margins at 9.8% versus 11.4%. Thermax, revenues were up 11% and margin has expanded 300 basis points. And there will be some other companies that will be reacting to earnings, Delivery, PB, Fintech, JK Cement, Data Patterns. This is just to name a few.
Okay, thanks Surbhi for taking us through that entire list of stocks. We're going to watch for all of these in today's trading session. Finally, Mangalam is also here to take us through cues from the futures and options space. Mangalam, the start definitely will be well in the green.
The start will be well in the green, 150 points higher as indicated by the gift Nifty. And, we have been moving from strength to strength. Can this week be a knockout punch for the bears from the bulls is the big question. We have the festive cheer as well. Friday was a good trading session. The Nifty Bank closed above the 200-day moving average, and that is a positive. With SBI results coming in, will that continue to move higher or not as well? The other reason why the markets did well on Friday as well was the FII selling reduced to around just 12 odd crores. And if you look at the index futures too, we saw open interest reduction in both the Nifty as well as the Nifty Bank, telling you that there were short positions which were being unwound. The data confirmed that FIIs bought over 1,000 crores in index futures, and in that they covered 9,200 short contracts. They added just around 4,000 long contracts. In fact, the net shorts are now down from 1.75 lakh to around 1.6 lakh itself. And as a result of which, the short exposure, which is still more at 82%, is lower than the 85% mark that we saw earlier in the series itself. Add to that, the FIs have written more puts than calls, telling you that there is firm support at the lower level. However, if we were to cross above the congestion zones on our market, these call writers and these shorts will run for further cover, and we'll see a further up move in our indices as well. The 19,300 put and the 19,200 put Both of them were extremely active, telling you that there is strong support around that 19,200 mark for our indices. On the way up, the 19,300 calls saw some writing, and those will be the calls which will be unwound at open itself, given the massive gap up that GIFT Nifty is suggesting. The Nifty 20-day moving average at 19,424 is something that we'll have to cross past to see even more short covering, because that is a mark which may prove a bit of a technical resistance. So that's something we'll watch out for. Individual stocks, a lot of them in focus. A lot of long positions added on Titan, Apollo Hospitals, and real estate stocks are seeing some buying as well. So a lot of long positions added on DLF and Godrej Properties.
All right, Mangalam, thanks a lot for getting us all of those cues from the futures and options space as well. That is the trade setup as we see it this morning. We're going to get into a short break now, but on the other side, we will bring you more details from State Bank of India's second quarter earnings, which were posted on Saturday. Stay tuned. All of the highlights in just a bit.